And what's going on, everybody? I am Kadarius Washington, and y'all are checking out the Sports Rundown. So, Wild Card Weekend in the NFL gets going tomorrow, so let's go ahead and lock in our picks against the spread. Of course, in the regular season, we did the six pack where we took 6 games in the NFL slate and we picked them against the spread. But now that we are officially into the postseason, we're going to take all the games and pick them against the spread. Now, before we get into our picks, some good news and some bad news. The bad news is we went 2-4 in our picks in week 18, but the good news is by the hair of our chinny chin chins, we finished the regular season with a winning record. We went 62, 61, and 1 in our picks in the regular season. That's not bad for us doing our first year of this whole pick segment thing, but nevertheless, here we are in the postseason. It's a new week, time for some new picks. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first up, we have the Saturday doubleheader, and the first matchup on the card, we've got the Los Angeles Rams taking on my Carolina Panthers. Rams are 10.5-point favorites on the road. Of course, it's a rematch of Week 13, which my Panthers won 31-28 in Charlotte. And the Panthers defense forced 3 turnovers on Matthew Stafford. Devontae Adams is going to be back in this game after missing the last couple of games with a hamstring injury. And the Rams are going to be looking for revenge after that loss in Week 13 to us. And listen, I've been hearing all week long that nobody's given the Panthers any credit whatsoever for making the playoffs, and nobody's given us a chance in this game. Now, I will say this. Did the Panthers earn a playoff spot, let alone a home playoff game? No. Did the Panthers deserve to win the NFC South? No. But at the same time, no one deserved to win this division. I mean, the division was decided by 2 teams who were already out of the playoffs, for crying out loud. But nevertheless, I'm proud of my boys. We showed a lot of growth this year. I mean, we won a division title, which is something worth celebrating because we have not had a lot to celebrate with this team over the last few years. And for what it's worth, heck of a season by the Panthers. But it comes to an end tomorrow. I mean, this game, folks, is the NFL version of Oregon JMU. But as for the pick, I am 0-5 in Panthers games against the spread this year. And I am 0-4 when I pick against them. So if you were thinking about putting a couple of coins on this game, it's probably a good idea to fade my pick because there is a really good chance that I go 0-6 in Panthers games and 0-5 picking against them. Because unless Matthew Stafford has 3 turnovers again, the Panthers have no shot. The Panthers have no chance of winning this game. This game has 35-13 written all over it. Heck of a year, boys, but it's over. I'm laying the 10.5 with the Los Angeles Rams. All right, game number 2 on the Saturday doubleheader. We've got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. Packers 1.5-point favorites on the road. This is only the 3rd ever postseason meeting between these 2 teams. This is the first since the 2010 NFC Championship game, which of course the Packers won, and the only time the Bears beat the Packers in the postseason was December 14th, 1941 in the Western Divisional Playoffs. But here's the thing, folks. The Packers have lost 4 straight. They're coming in as one of the most beat up teams in the postseason on both sides of the ball. The Packers defense has only 3 sacks since Micah Parsons went down. Meanwhile, the Bears defense led the league in takeaways this year, and the Bears offense can make explosive plays. But the thing is, so can the Packers offense. And you have to wonder whether or not the Bears defense is relying a little too much on leading the league in takeaways. But honestly, I think the Bears are the better team. The Bears are the healthier team, and they're especially the better team when it comes to clutch time. I think there's too much going right for the Bears at the right time, and the Packers are just falling at the wrong time. So I'm going to take the 1.5, and I say the Bears win this thing outright. All right, so our Sunday triple header, the first game on the card, we've got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bills 1.5-point favorites on the road. And folks, I think this might be the best game of the weekend. But at the same time, this was also the toughest game of the weekend for me to pick. One of the toughest anyway. I mean, the Jaguars are hotter than fish grease, riding an 8-game win streak with Trevor Lawrence playing some of the best football of his career. And the Bills, yeah, they have the best quarterback in football and the best quarterback in the postseason this year in Josh Allen. But the Jaguars have the better roster overall. I think this is going to come down to the wire, but I like the Bills in this matchup. And I'm banking on the experience aspect here. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has only one playoff win in his career. That was a few years ago against the Chargers. And even in that game, he threw 4 interceptions in the first half. If he does that again, this game is going to be over pretty quickly. And on top of that, all of the pressure in the world is on Josh Allen and this Bills team. Like I said about the Bills when I made my season predictions on the Tuesday after Labor Day, this is an if not this year, then when year for the Buffalo Bills as far as the Super Bowl is concerned. I say the Bills respond to the pressure, Josh Allen responds to the pressure, and I am keeping my Super Bowl preseason champion in this thing. I am laying the 1.5 here with the Buffalo Bills. All right, next up, we've got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, the Eagles was the team who I picked to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl in my season predictions. Eagles 5.5-point favorites at home. The Niners were coming in hot going into Week 18, but they were cooled down massively, being held to only 3 points by that nasty Seattle Seahawks defense. And the Eagles have been a roller coaster for weeks now with an inconsistent offense. So simply put, I don't know which version of either team we're going to get. But this 49ers defense has been destroyed by injuries, and obviously I think that's going to be a big deal regardless of how inconsistent the Eagles offense has been. But there is a chance that the Eagles could get Lane Johnson back, and I think that is going to be massive for the Eagles if that is the case. But the 49ers, folks, have an explosive offense, but like we saw last week, they can be neutralized. Plus, this Vic Fangio-led defense for the Eagles just steps things up in the postseason. I say it's close, but I like the Eagles to win, but I'm going to take the 49ers to cover the 5.5. The 5.5 just feels like too many points for me, so I say Eagles win, but Niners cover. All right, Sunday nighter. We've got the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New England Patriots. Patriots 3.5-point favorites at home, and folks, this is a true measuring stick game to see how real this Patriots team has been this year. The Chargers' offensive line has been absolutely destroyed by injuries, but Justin Herbert has been impressive in this stretch. And on top of that, he's going to be looking to bounce back after that terrible playoff performance that he had last year when he threw 4 interceptions against the Texans. Meanwhile, the Patriots have had as soft of a regular season schedule as the LSU women's basketball team in the non-conference schedule. And you have to wonder how big of a factor that's going to be. And with the value being at 3.5, this thing could go either way. I think we might have to sweat it out, but I like this Patriots offense with Drake May, who has been incredible all year. And as a matter of fact, he's my pick to win MVP. I think he's going to be great. Josh McDaniels, of course, being back as offensive coordinator for the Patriots, that's going to be great. I think it's close, but I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the New England Patriots. All right, Monday nighter. We've got the Houston Texans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Texans 2.5-point favorites on the road. And like we've been saying all year, folks, this Texans defense is special. And that Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. led pass rush just flies. And they love nothing more than to make quarterbacks' lives miserable. But the main question with the Texans is their offense. C.J. Stroud and the offense has done just enough to win games, and they just let the defense handle the rest. But at some point, you have to wonder if just enough is actually going to be enough. Meanwhile, the Steelers are looking for their first playoff win since the 2016 divisional round against Kansas City, of course, pre-Mahomes. And you have to think that the Steelers are feeling a bit of momentum after escaping that absolute thriller of a Sunday nighter against the Ravens last week, and Aaron Rodgers putting on an absolute masterclass. But like I've been saying for weeks, it's very hard to pick against this Texans defense right now, even despite the Steelers getting DK Metcalf back. I say that just enough is going to be enough for this game, and I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Houston Texans. All right, so my picks this week, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams minus 10.5. The Chicago Bears plus 1.5. I'm going the Buffalo Bills minus 1.5. The San Francisco 49ers plus 5.5. The New England Patriots minus 3.5. And the Houston Texans minus 2.5. Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell to be notified when I post again. And also follow me on Twitter and on Bluesky at CW Talk Sports. That's CWTALKS Sports. And I will see y'all the next time. Enjoy the games, everyone. Peace.